All right, so this knife thoughts video is going to be on this knife, and as you can see, this is the Great Eastern Cutlery F90518. And this is a fillet knife from Great Eastern Cutlery, and they have two different versions of this. One version has this blade, which is about 6 inches, and then they also have a blade that's about 9 inches, so another third long or another half longer. And I went with this one just because for the fishing that I do, I probably wouldn't need a 9-inch blade, although the 9-inch bladed version, has the same features and isn't too much more expensive. I just thought this one would fit my uses more. So what is this knife here? So it's, as you can see, a pretty specifically designed knife as a fillet knife. It has the classically thin or slender and long blade with a really nice sweeping belly and a usable point that fillet knives typically have, and it does also have a flexible blade so that you can bend that as you're filleting the fish to match the curves of the rib cage and such. So that's really cool. It is stainless steel. I'm not 100% sure if this is 440C or 420HC. I seem to recall seeing that they were 420HC, but it could be either. And to me, it doesn't matter too much. They have similar characteristics. They're both very stainless, which is really the main thing on a fillet knife, is that it's a stainless steel blade. It doesn't matter too much on the edge retention because, you're probably going to sharpen it after using it anyway. The handles are also something that really drew me to this knife. It is micarta, natural canvas micarta, but it has this really cool checkered finish to it, where it's checkered almost like some gun stocks are, and it gives it really good grip. I mean, you can really hold on to that, and if you were using this in the water with wet bloody hands, you're going to be able to hold on to it really well. So I really like that. I think it both looks good and is effective at getting a good grip. And the handle in general is really comfortable. It has some, rounding to the scales or the covers. It's a pretty solid size for my hand. You can see that I can easily get a 4-finger grip there. It does have a lanyard hole, so if you, wanted to have a lanyard so you could let go of the knife if you needed to and then grab it without, it dropping, that's definitely an option. And another thing that drew me to this knife is the sheath. So the interesting thing that you'll notice about this sheath is that it is a Kydex sheath, and it is, I don't know if it's the brand Kydex, but it is a thermo molded sheath from sheets of this material. So that's really cool. It's very unusual for GEC. They typically, and pretty much I think in every other sheath that they do, use leather. But it makes sense on a fillet knife. Again, it's a knife designed to be used as it is intended to be used. Leather, certainly you could use a leather sheath for a fillet knife, but it's going to, have some damage when it gets wet, which it probably will get wet, whereas this Kydex is really not going to be any worse for the wearer if it gets wet. So I think that's really great that they, decided to go with a Kydex sheath, being that that's really the appropriate choice for a knife that's going to be used in a marine environment. And it's unusual, like I said, for GEC. It's very modern. It's a modern, feature for a GEC knife to have, but it makes a lot of sense. And that fits in with this etch here. So it has this practical knives etch, and I think, that really sums up what this is. This is a knife that GEC has designed and made to really be a utility knife that's made to be used as a fillet knife, not really a collection piece. Certainly you could, especially if you're a big fan of fishing knives, but something that is made to be used as a fillet knife, and I really appreciate that. But on the other hand, as a collection piece, I also really enjoy this particular tang stamp that they used on this. I think it's really cool looking. I like that it's kind of a scroll or almost towards cursive rather than the typical block letters that they use. So a really cool knife. I haven't really gotten to use it at like actually fishing yet. I have used it a little bit on fish, but not fish that I caught, unfortunately. So hopefully I'll be able to get out and put it to good use. And I think that it's going to work really well. Has all of the features that you would want in a good fillet knife. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications so you know when I post new videos. Also check out my Instagram and Facebook at Knife Thoughts and my website knifethoughts.com. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.